Hello, I've not made one of these videos before, but I thought I would, seeing as I couldn't find anyone who had made a repair video around this light, which is the Lezyne Macro Drive 600XL. It's a light which I really like. Unfortunately, it's not really holding its charge anymore, and I think it went flat when it was being stored through the summer, and so I thought I'd have a look, see if I could get a replacement or a repair battery, and there didn't seem to be a simple solution. And as there was no video, I started investigating. So here we are. So first things first, we've got to take the mount off of here, and then there's a small Torx in here, which I think is a T8. Yes. And then once that's removed, you can push out the contents. Don't forget the button. Push out the light itself. The lens is staying in here, and it's nicely made. It's sort of aluminium housing on the outside, and then you've got what looks like a control board, which will be hopefully controlling the charge, and also the light patterns, because it flashes or has various levels of brightness, and then looks like a big sort of heat sink under here. Now I think, as I remember, in here is the USB charging port, and let's prise this out, and there's the lithium pack. Now I think, no, I see it now. I have to take this element off too and slide it all up. Yes, that's it. So that's the mounting plate, and this slides out. Here we are. Yes, now here's the battery, and this is an ICR18650 I'm, which is 3.7 volts, 2,800 milliamps, and it's quite a little tidy package. And we've got a little connector here to remove it. Now, I hunted around to try and find one like this with that connector, and I didn't have much luck. But the closest I could find, there were quite a few people who were selling the battery with just a top and a bottom, like, you know, the standard arrangement you would have on an AA battery. And there were other people who were selling them tagged. There was quite a lot of stuff about, I think it was a Samsung battery, that there was various kind of levels of people liking them or not liking them. But what I went with in the end was I went to Cell Pack Solutions. I'll put the details down in the list. But Cell Pack Solutions are a company that I've used quite a few times for various rechargeable batteries. And this one cost me £15, including delivery. It wasn't the cheapest one, but it did have a data sheet, which I will link in the description, to this, which is the correct size, but slightly lower capacity, which is, I was hoping for a bigger one. I did find a 3,000 milliamp hour battery, but it didn't have any protection on it. This battery, I believe, has protection, although I can't guarantee it. This one does have protection on it, so if you overcharge it or over discharge it and then recharge it, which is the bigger issue, they can catch fire or swell, as the again, I don't know a huge amount about lithium packs, but you know, we've all heard stories about them catching fire, and I didn't particularly want that to happen. And also, I don't know what kind of charge protection this board has. Um, it may have some, it may not have any. Again, I don't know. So I went with a battery which had protection and a slightly lower capacity, but at least I know it's not going to do anything horrible. Now, I can immediately see that the wires here are thinner than these wires. It'd be interesting to see what size copper they've got inside them once I get it open. Also, these connectors aren't the same. And this one has 3 wires, you'll see. Now, what I've discovered about this is this battery, it may have a temperature sensor in it. It may just have a dummy. I believe it has a temperature sensor in it, which can then give information about the battery's condition to a charging circuit. But this particular light doesn't have it. So I'm just going to blank that wire off. You can see there's slightly different heights because this one's got the rubber pad on top. And so we'll transfer that over. Right then, so I'll start making these up. Okay, so I'm going to cut these wires here because I think that gives enough space for a splice. Something to consider here is I don't want to cut right the way across these wires, otherwise I'm going to short circuit the battery and it's not going to be very good for it. So what I'm going to do is cut them one at a time in a staggered way. Again, here I've staggered the joint so that when they're soldered together, if there's a lump in the soldering or where the heat sleeve is, then it will allow it more flexibility rather than just making a big lump. And if it does pull apart, it won't short circuit. Okay, so I've got it back in. It was a little bit fiddly where the wires tuck in around the back. I could have taken it a bit longer, taken the wires a little longer to have the joint not quite so high up, but it seems to have packed in again. Okay, I've put the pad back on the top to protect it, and there's a little O-ring that's appeared, and I think that is probably from this hole here. So I'll put that back in when I put the screw back in the back to hold it together. So I'm going to put them all together now and turn it on, see if it works all right. That's looking good. It's looking like it's turning back on again. And if I hold it on, it will go through the various other modes. Yeah, that's looking good. So now I've got this little one to go back into here. Ah, I've missed the retaining strap that covers the port, so I've got to open it up again and put that back in. So yeah, I had to slide this one up. I had to slide the board out, pop that underneath, and then it's back in. Now the lens came out this time, so this, I believe, goes on that way. Yes. There we go. So that's all back together and it is working. I'm going to put that on charge and see how it performs. So if you enjoyed the video, let me know in the comment section below. If you'd like me to do some more, I'll happily do some more with other things I'm fixing.